Dear ladies and gentlemen, winter is truly returning with formidable strength. After a fairly calm beginning to November, the North American weather map is showing a very strong shift in conditions. A massive cold air mass is forming over northern Canada, ready to surge down into the central and eastern United States, bringing piercing cold winds, frost, and the season's first snowstorms. This is considered the first strong cold spell of this winter, and it may be the opening act for a long period of cold air, deep snow, and characteristic dry winds. This very morning, Canada's Meteorological Agency recorded violent winds in British Columbia with speeds reaching 160 kilometers per hour in the Chester Lake Dam area, equivalent to a strong hurricane. These massive winds are the result of a deep low-pressure system from the Pacific sweeping across Canada's western coast. This system not only causes heavy rain, strong winds, and early snow on the mountain peaks, but also signals a series of atmospheric waves forming, which will be the key to paving the way for the upcoming cold spell. In the next 5 to 7 days, the weather over much of the United States is forecast to remain relatively stable, but experts believe this is only a temporary lull before the cold air truly breaks out. In the western United States, 2 small consecutive low-pressure systems are expected to make landfall in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, bringing showers, strong gusty winds, and light snow over the high mountain ranges. Some areas with steep terrain or weak soil may experience localized flooding or minor landslides due to multi-day rainfall. Meanwhile, in the southeast, a weak trough is still moving offshore of Florida and the Bahamas. According to forecasts, this system will shift eastward, move along the Atlantic coast, and may cause scattered showers along the North and South Carolina coasts early next week. However, this is not a dangerous system, with no potential to develop into a storm or tropical cyclone, and is assessed as merely localized. In the northeastern United States, states such as Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York may receive mixed rain and snow or light snow over high mountainous areas at the weekend. These are the first signs of this year's snow season, though accumulations are not yet significant. The real hotspot of the North American region this week is Canada. From British Columbia to Alberta and the central provinces, a series of heavy snow warnings have been issued. Temperatures in high mountainous areas have dropped sharply, many places below -10 degrees Celsius, while cold winds and continuous snowfall have severely disrupted transportation. Canada's Meteorological Agency states this could be the largest early season snow event in the past 5 years, with potential snow accumulation reaching 40 to 60 centimeters in many areas. Snow is also gradually expanding eastward into the provinces of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. In major cities such as Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal, people may see the first snow of the season within just a week. Many residential areas in the central region have been advised to prepare heating, fuel, food supplies, and check backup power systems to cope with possible power outages due to snowstorms. Elsewhere in North America, the weather pattern is maintaining a state known as zonal flow, that is, the atmosphere moving nearly parallel to the latitude lines, helping keep the air warmer than usual in the southern states. However, meteorologists warn that the cold mass accumulating over Canadian territory will soon break this equilibrium. Around November 8 to November 11, global forecast models all show a strong cold air current beginning to pour into the central and northeastern United States. Initially, the cold mass will affect northern states such as Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, where daytime temperatures may drop by 10 to 15 degrees Celsius within just 48 hours. After that, this cold flow is likely to spread into the Midwest and the Great Lakes region, increasing cold winds and producing more snow over the northern hills and plains. Even so, experts still emphasize that the reliability of long-range models is only relative, and the intensity of the cold spell can still change. The U.S. GFS model is simulating a colder scenario with the potential for 2 consecutive cold waves after November 10. In this scenario, snowstorms may appear in the north-central U.S., while ahead of the cold front will be a region of thunderstorms and strong winds, creating a dual harsh weather event, both cold and wet. In contrast, Europe's ECMWF model suggests the cold air will only remain over Canada and the northern U.S. with weaker intensity and dissipating after a few days. Despite differences in detail, both models agree that North American weather will turn distinctly colder after November 10. In its latest report, the U.S. Climate Prediction Center states that over the next 6 to 10 days, precipitation across the U.S. will be at average or below average levels, except for Florida, where the offshore trough may bring a few showers, and the U.S. West Coast, which will receive 2 consecutive heavy rain systems. In Northern California and Southern Oregon, the ground is already saturated, so localized flooding and landslides are possible. However, for interior states such as Idaho, Montana, or Nevada, this rainfall is considered very valuable to improve drought. As for temperatures, before the cold mass pours south, a high pressure zone will temporarily cover the central U.S., pushing temperatures to 3 to 5 degrees Celsius above average. The weather is generally pleasant, especially in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Georgia, and Florida, and where daytime highs still hold at 27-30 degrees Celsius. However, when the cold flow from Canada begins moving down, the entire northern and central U.S. will suddenly turn cold, dropping by 5-10 degrees Celsius, with some places down to 0 degrees Celsius at night. Notably, according to the GFS model, around November 12 to November 14, a strong cold air mass may plunge deep into the central United States, bringing a biting chill, especially in the Rockies, where temperatures could fall below -10 degrees Celsius, accompanied by strong winds and heavy frost. Cold winds combined with humidity could drive wind chill readings down to -15 to -20 degrees Celsius in many places, while the central plains would hover around 0 degrees Celsius. At the same time, Canada will face the largest snowfall since the beginning of the season. Satellite data show a vast snow cover from British Columbia to Quebec, with total accumulation possibly reaching 40 to 80 centimeters, especially in high mountain areas like Banff, Jasper, and Whistler. In the east, the first snow of the season may fall on Toronto and Montreal before mid-November. With sub-zero temperatures persisting, transportation in many provinces and cities is forecast to face many difficulties, particularly on mountain passes and transprovincial highways. Given this situation, the Canadian government and northern U.S. states have begun advising residents to prepare, check heating systems, stock food and fuel, and avoid long-distance travel during periods of heavy snowfall. Farms and livestock areas are also being asked to protect animals and reinforce barns to reduce damage from severe cold. Meanwhile, in the southern United States, from Texas to Florida, the weather remains mostly warm and dry, with only a few light showers due to the offshore trough. Residents here can still enjoy the last warm days of autumn before the cold air truly spreads southward. Thus, as you can see, a major seasonal transition is approaching. After the tranquil period of early November, North America is about to enter a series of strong fluctuations, with snow, cold winds, and deep temperature drops. Experts forecast that this will only be the beginning of this winter, as successive cold spells will continue through the rest of November and early December. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the International Weather Bulletin on the weather today. We will continue to provide frequent updates on the early season cold and snow in Canada and the United States, as well as weather systems that may affect the coming week. If you encounter property issues after a disaster, you can contact them for detailed and free consultation. Thank you for your interest. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest bulletins. We will soon return with updated information on the upcoming cold spell, when cold air officially pours into the United States and winter 2025 begins knocking on every doorstep.